All right, the season 4 jungle is coming soon, and there's a lot of speculation as to what's going to happen to all the junglers. Frankly put, a lot of people are saying things like, oh my god, farming junglers are going to be so damn powerful. The Riot has increased the ability for them to farm, etc., etc. And you know what? Riot said that about season 3, Riot said that about season 2. It did not fucking happen. You guys keep forgetting that those promises are made every single season, and they end up not being so. Why? Because the jungle and the junglers do not dictate how the jungle actually flows. It's the laners who dictate it. If the laners, if the hell season 2 and season 3. In season 2, you could farm the jungle really quickly. However, it was easy for the laners to steal it, so the laners showed up and slaughtered the monsters and stole it from the jungler. By the way, I'm hoping you're paying attention to this. I'm comparing on the corner the Season 3 Jungle Master Yi to the Season 4 Master Yi. They're both farming the same type of masteries, 21-9. I know they are different, but it's still a valid comparison. The new machete and the potions. And they are exactly matched up at the same damn time at just clearing, wiping out whatever camp is first. Anyways, back to what I was saying. The laners dictate how the jungle flows. The jungle, if they in season 2, you could actually farm it considerably well. However, it became very strategic to just have the laner steal it from the jungler. Therefore, it went to the mid lane, it went to top lane, and it went to bottom lane. You were forced to play utility junglers who just kind of sat on their thumbs and never farmed. All right, so that was what happened. They could farm it. The laners decided to steal it, and therefore they dictated how it flowed. Season 3, the same deal. For the longest of time, bottom lane would steal golems, and mid would try to keep snatching wraiths. The same thing as in season 2. Riot had to change a few things around to make that a lot more difficult for the laners to steal it. Even then, season 3 right now has a lot of objective based gameplay. Steal the tower. Destroy the tower, take dragon, group together, gank whatever, which does not allow farming junglers to continuously do farm their jungle. It forces them out. And this has always been the issue with farming junglers. How do you beat a farming jungler? You use a really heavy duty gank jungler. Because if you're ganking the lane so hard and it's making the laner's life hell, it's gonna flush the enemy jungler out in order to come out, in order for him to either help gank or help protect him. This was the trinity, the triad of junglers. Remember, the controller, the jungler, and the farmer and the ganker. The farmer lost to the ganker because he would say while the ganker wouldn't really want to deal with the farmer, the ganker would be putting so much pressure on the lanes that they would end up they could crush a lane and force roaming to occur, cause a tower to fall or cause early teamfights to fall that the farmer can't really continuously farm anymore. Then the controller beats the ganker, and then the controller loses to the farmer because the farmer just ignores him and doesn't care. That's still kind of what can happen here in season 4. Right now Riot's claiming, oh, you can the new gold items is gonna help farm continuously. The new item is gonna help you. The new jungle is designed so you can have more gold. In theory, that works out. In practice, we don't exactly know yet. That's like I said, it's gonna be dictated by the laners. If in season 4 the laners on both sides or whatever invest in just purely early team fighting, roaming, ganking, and whatever, and in the jungler has to get involved in either alleviating pressure from lanes like always, or grouping up with teammates in order to push things or something or whatever, that's going to make it so farm junglers are once again practically useless because they're forced to stop their farming. To add to this, the Wriggles was nerfed. It was nerfed big time in terms of combat stats. Sure, they gave it the gold bonus and made it cheaper, but let's not forget one thing: you have to buy the Wriggles and then farm up the gold you use in order to buy the damn Wriggles and to make up for it. And at that time, your opponents likely have other items, other actual good combat items that they'll use to kill you. So while you have a Wriggles Lantern, they have a BF Sword. While you farm up with your Wriggles Lantern another item, that's, when you farm up the gold that you waste to buy the Wriggles Lantern, they have a Bloodthirster and boots and, whatever. They have more items. And they still do have more readily available gold in the lanes. And they may have killed their opponents, but, we can't really count on that. So the thing is, this is with the assumption that you're just mindlessly farming. Because if you go off to gank and it doesn't work, then obviously your gold will dip down. If you get a kill, it will go up. It'll go up higher. If you get to tax a lane or push sub tower or whatever, yeah, you will get more gold. But that has nothing to do with you as a jungler. That has something to do with the variables in the game. So this is just with the assumption that you're mindlessly farming, as Riot feels that mindless farming junglers like Master Yi, Shyvana, and stuff will be able to do and succeed. The testing I've done pretty much fucking shows that that is not the case. You, at most, get around 300 more gold in the Season 4 jungle at around 12 minutes into the game. Sure, eventually, if you just kept farming even longer, you will get more gold than your Season 3 counterpart. However, that is ignoring the fact that you may actually have to do things in the game. If at any point before those 12 minutes, or before those 12 minutes and that 300 gold difference you from Season 3 jungle is made up, and if at any point of that time you're forced to either roam, join team fights or whatever, or your jungle has fallen and you're being pushed back, you're now stuck with a really, really shitty item. Wriggles is a terrible item as it stands right now. You have to dump gold into it. It can work for you if you can mindlessly farm forever, and if you're allowed to farm even past the point where you're roaming, like, you're Master Yi, you farm your jungle, then you farm your wave, and then you join team fights. It may be, well, those situations are not gonna be guaranteed. This is the thing that most people keep missing. The jungle gold is static. You kill these monsters and that's it. However, being able to actually get that gold is another situation, another whole situation. Actually, I can't choose words for this. It's a whole nother thing to consider. Is like, if the enemy is invading you, you obviously have no access to that gold. Your gold dips. If your teammates need you to hold your other lane, you miss that jungle gold, but you get lane minions and whatever. The jungle, how much gold there is in the jungle will pretty much be the same. However, access to it has always been the issue, and that's kind of the point I'm trying to drive across here. In Season 4, there is absolutely no guarantee that you will actually have access to this gold, whether it's more or less, whether the items will give you more in the long run or not. It's kind of just, like I mentioned, the laners will dictate everything, and we do not know for certain if this will be true. I could be wrong if and the jungler and farming junglers actually become very strong, but all evidence shows to the contrary. They will not be that strong, because at that point shit's gonna happen. Especially considering the fact that Riot has increased the gold intake by everybody else, alongside the supports, alongside we're trying to make the game quicker in general, so team fights happen. So like the jungler, they're like, oh, you should farm more items, and we'll give you the tools to farm them. However, the game, they're trying to make it faster, outside of the jungle, which in a sense will almost guarantee the jungler will be ousted from his farming position. It's just counterintuitive. Unless the game slows down and the lane phase and the jungle farming phase expand, just like it was in Season 1. Season 1 was purely kind of farming for like 10 minutes and 12 minutes. Then yeah, it's not gonna happen. To add to that, Spirit of the Ancient Golem is just all around much better than Wriggles Lantern. It makes it feel like it's Season 3 again, just with a bit more gold and without having to invest in such a shitty item. Remember that. Like I already just said it earlier, and I know I am repeating myself, you have to buy Wriggles Lantern in order to make up for the gold. However, 1800 gold is pretty much used on a really shitty item, Wriggles Lantern, compared to the fact that your teammates will be able to buy AD items which are much cheaper now. So, in the video, a little quick rundown of what's been happening in the video. I already said I was comparing Season 3 Master Yi and Season 4 Master Yi. Season 4 Master Yi actually had sustain issues for, I don't exactly know the reasons why. Like, I've actually tried a version where I ignored the white camp, and I ignored the white camp because, it dealt more damage to me earlier than I had wanted to, and it still had no actual difference. I still ended up just dying. So I just ended up having to go back home because you know what? If I went to the golems like here in this little clip, I died. Season 3 jungle had no such issue. So see when comparing both the gold and from season 3 and season 4, season 3 had less gold but more levels. It also had a superior Wriggles item that gave armor and lifesteal, which the gold value of those is actually probably almost enough to make up for the difference. While Season 4 Jungle had a worse Wriggles, slightly more gold, a little bit over 300, and less levels. And I pretty much made it, so that they went back at near the same time, and or whenever they reached the same quote unquote goal. And I hope you noticed this too. Season 3 Master E hit every landmark level first. Hit level 3 first, hit level 4 first, and hit level 6 first.